Hey, what's up, everybody? Romy Mac here. I am here with another pre-show interlude. I want to, before we get started, I just want to say thank you. Truly grateful for everyone who took time to watch this episode amongst any other episode that you've done, and the people that have supported from the beginning when I started this thing in November of 2020 till now. You know what I'm saying? It's grown a lot. I'm sure for those that watched in the beginning, before we had no ring light, lighting was horrible. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't organized as much, but you know, every little bit helps. So I'm grateful for anyone who's ever offered, you know what I'm saying, a lot of contribution to it. Yeah, just like I said, truly grateful for it. But I had an epiphany that I wanted to start adding to create like a community for the show. And what I want to do is either you talk about a challenge that you had during the week and how you were able to overcome it, or just something that something that happened to you that you found to be inspiring, you know, in your week. Just comment below on this video. Comment below on this clip, on this video, and you know, just continue to support, continue to tell your you know what I'm saying, friends, family, enemies about the show. It's all about just, you know what I'm saying, having a conversation, bringing it to the forefront about healing, and you know, recognizing our egos, and you know what I'm saying, how it can consume us sometimes. But you know what I'm saying, just finished leg day, so it's Monday, you know what I mean, Monday's a leg day, so just finishing up, got some errands to run. But I wanted to take time and talk to, you know what I'm saying, the audience. You know, if the show doesn't exist, it doesn't get much track if it's not for you guys watching. So truly grateful for that. But yeah, enjoy the show. How do you feel about your parents' job raising you?
My parents. So I was raised by my mother. Me and my biological father, our relationship is not really, it's kind of non-existent. It's one of those, like, if he decides to call me, he'll call me. And we'll talk for like a second and then won't hear from him again for another couple of years, which I've become okay with. I'm content with our relationship.
How would you like that relationship to be, though?
At this point in my life, I wouldn't want it to be anything. I don't have any expectations for him anymore. When I was younger, of course, obviously.
No, I'm not saying expectations. I mean more so like, how would you, in an ideal world, how would you like to have a relationship with your father?
I don't anymore.
All right. And at a point when you did.
Okay, at a point when I did, of course I would have loved to have been, I guess, what do they say, daddy's little girl, in a way.
I'm talking about that cliche bullshit. I'm talking about what could you as a young lady have benefited from having a father in your life versus not?
That's the thing. I had a father. That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
I didn't have my biological father.
All right.
But my mother, she was with someone when I was 2 years old. They were engaged, and he's been my father figure since I was 2.
Okay.
And he's
when you know what I'm saying, like if you come from an area where if you're open and you talk about feelings, they like clown you and shit like that, you're not gonna be so quick to be open with your feelings. You know what I'm saying? And or if it wasn't practiced, like if you felt like you didn't matter, like you weren't seen in your home growing up or just coming up, you're not gonna be inclined to share how you feel because you think niggas don't give a fuck. Why do you think being vulnerable is so fearful? Being vulnerable is fearful because of judgment, conditional love, I believe. That's the reason why I believe it's so fearful to be vulnerable with people. And people take advantage of you. They'll use it to their advantage to capitalize for their own personal gain. And that's just us living in fear, being honest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are situations where being vulnerable can get you fucked up. Giving out certain informations can get you fucked up, and people can use that against you to do whatever they will with it. But vulnerability is also a strength. And the strength of being vulnerable is that no one can use it against you because you stand by what you say. You know what I'm saying? I used to be very, very like locked up with information. And let some people tell it, I'm probably still locked up with some information, but I know for sure throughout these times doing these shows, and doing the podcasting, you know, talking about like my childhood, my relationship with my family, past relationships that I've been with girlfriends and shit. You know what I mean? I've been very, very open, if you will, about the things that I've gone through in hopes that it would help somebody else heal by seeing it differently, learning from what I did. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do better, make better decisions than what I did. See something like a mile marker, you know what I mean? Like something you can see the bullshit up ahead, so you can avoid the bullshit in the road. It's like ways, you know, obstacle on road ahead or whatever, you know. But vulnerability is scary. It really is scary. It's scary because you don't know. Because based off of what you've gone through before. You opened up before and you were called a bitch. You were treated like a bitch. They lost respect for you. They treated you as if you were less than them. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, it had nothing to do with you. As far as you being vulnerable, that's their inability to accept love and receive love has nothing to do with you and your ability to give it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to recognize who can receive, who's ready to receive it, and who's been trained that they don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Because some people will self-sabotage. If you feel like you're not worthy of love, you'll turn yourself into something that's not worthy of it. You know what I mean? You'll fuck around. You'll push people away. You'll you know what I'm saying? You'll become very, very distant. You'll do everything in your power to ensure that the identity that you believe is going to stay what it is. And I don't even think we are doing this consciously. I think it's happening subconsciously. And the key is to recognize it so that you can kind of alter your behavior and you know, make changes going forward. You know what I mean? Because all of us are very worthy of love. All of us are. As far as being vulnerable though, selective. You gotta be very selective. Not everybody reserves the right to hear your story. You know what I'm saying? So, vulnerability, it's scary as fuck. It is. And when you've had people kind of, you know what I'm saying, like if you come from an area where if you're open and you talk about feelings, they clown you and shit like that, you're not gonna be so quick to be open with your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Or if it wasn't practiced, like if you felt like you didn't matter, like you weren't seen in your home growing up or just coming up, you're not gonna be inclined to share how you feel because you think niggas don't give a fuck. And there's some people that do. They really are out there. And it's just about finding that polarity to attract that magnetic pull towards them. Some of us are still hooked on our toxic upbringing, and we you know what I'm saying, we have that magnetic connection towards what we're used to versus what's best for us. You know what I'm saying? Familiarity is the magnet that we have. We keep going right back to the bullshit, the toxic example of which we saw growing up, so when we open up, it falls on deaf ears. So it feels like that perspective, but recognizing, seeing people for who they are, actually listening, not being afraid to accept love, but literally just receiving what is being given and trusting. That's another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, trust is a motherfucker, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. But there are some courageous people that just say, I'm gonna love anyway, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? If you decide to do something that shows that you don't appreciate me, that's on you, bro. That's on you, sis. You know what I'm saying? Those are the real superheroes. The unsung hero, the individual that's not afraid to just jump out of a plane without a parachute hitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't fear showing love to someone that you actually love. If they don't show it in return, you have no control over that. You don't have any control over anybody that loves that claims they love you. You know what I'm saying? Or that you tell you love. The only thing you have control over is your love for them. And that's a hard thing to accept, because a lot of us, I know we've had these unhealthy attachment to people. I've had it many times in my life where I was just head over heels over this girl, that girl, and then this girl over here. Not all at the same time, but you know what I'm saying, through different phases of my life, and I just couldn't understand why I couldn't pull myself from it, because there was something about them that was very, very familiar. It's scary familiar. So because of that, I wanted to grasp onto the fact that I have this individual, because I believed that love was about possession then, and I was afraid of losing them. You know what I'm saying? Because they completed me, and no one completes you. That Jerry Maguire shit is just a nice line. That's it. The only thing a person can do is compliment your life, and you got to decide. Does this complement my life or does it complicate? Because if it complicates, then you have to eliminate and then move forward and just say, you know what, I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? You have to love you more than people say they love you. Otherwise, you'll put up with just about anything. People can change their love for you whenever they feel like it. Your love for you has to be constant and very, very mindful. You have to watch the thoughts that come through your mind. You know what I'm saying? A negative self-talk puts us in some fucked up ass situations. Work, friends, relationships, you know what I'm saying? Business deals. You gotta have positive self-talk. It has to be there. Negative self-talk will have you down on your last, feeling like it's over. I'm ready to give up on life. I don't want to be here anymore. I know I got a family, but I'm ready to end it all right now. And it's not you talking, it's the ego. Because the ego feels like it has to be something. As to where you, the soul of you, knows that it's whole and doesn't have to do anything. It's just here, it's just existing, living rather. You know what I'm saying? Amongst your peers, and you just give out love without expecting anything in return. You give it unconditionally. It makes you a very, very powerful person when no one can get to you. When you just decide that you're going to be invincible to the pressures of the world, to criticism, to judgmental people, to people that, that love in a toxic way. All these things, toxicity, negativity, all of that. When you are invincible to that, can't nobody fuck with you. And it's tough to get to it. Stoicism helps. But, to get to that point where you decided that you're not offended. You decide that you're not offended. You're choosing to be offended by anything that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can really grasp the fact that we are choosing to be offended by what's being said, what's being done. And we don't have to be upset. We're choosing to be upset. Anger is a choice response. And I want to choose to be non-reactive. You know what I'm saying? Just stoic. You know, not reacting to anything. We have a vulnerability. Vulnerability, you know, is difficult, but it's necessary. How do you know when you're becoming too old for shit? When you stop caring about what people think. It's number one. That's probably a telltale sign. Like, you give a fuck. Like, old people don't give a fuck what you think about them. Smokey Robinson on stage, gyrating his ass. He's in his 80s, shaking his ass like he was 16 with dum-de-dum-de-la, shaking old ass. But Smokey is a vampire. Smokey does look 16. Like, Google, like, literally, while you were watching this show, Google Smokey Robinson 80s. No, because it's gonna pull up how he look in the fucking head. Google Smokey Robinson right now. Like, right now. And look how he fucking looks. And then look at 1966 Smokey, 76 Smokey. Smokey in the 80s looks older than Smokey now, and that's only because of that damn porn mustache that he has. But knowing that you are too old for shit, you don't care about the trends anymore. You don't try to keep up with that shit. You ain't worrying about hip-hop gossip or who fucking who. You're not too concerned about reality shows if that's your thing. You don't feel like you're missing out when people go out, you know what I'm saying, partying and shit. Like, I had a budget. You know, I wasn't going out when I first moved here. But even still, like, going out, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, back home, going to the club or some shit like that, I don't want to be there. Like, for that, like as far as, you know, being in the club every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Back, like, if I go home to like Suffolk or some shit and, like, you know what I'm saying, going out. If I go with my brother, it's more like to see how he lives, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm that supportive. I'm that proud of the man that he's become on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, to see him in his own element. I don't give a fuck what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be there to see him. But if we go to a nightclub or something like that, cool. And then, you know, we'll see whatever. But I'm not checking for going, like, being part of the scene. I don't care for that shit no more. And it never was important. From the start, that shit we used to try to do, trying to, you know, be caught up with everything, it's for the fucking birds. Like, there's so much more to life to me than just trying to be validated by people that don't give a fuck about you. And it takes some time. Trauma can keep you in a mindset for a very, very long time. But one situation that really showed me how old that I am was a concert that I went to, you know, actually this past Saturday. So it's Guy, Teddy Riley, Aaron Hall, Damian Hall, for those of us who are big fans of R&B, New Jack Swing, you know what it is. Tank, for you ladies, you know, he took the shirt off, showing titties and all that shit, throwing it to the crowd. And, you know, Tank's 40, he's like 44, I believe, you know, still fit. Youngest on the card, right? And then there's Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat is born in 1961, so you do the math. He'll be 62 this year. You know what I'm saying? And then there's New Edition. First off, condolences to Johnny Gill's family for the loss of his mother. He literally performed that day, and he got the news last night that his mother had passed. that Friday he learned that his mother had passed. You know what I'm saying? And he still performed for us fans. But he was not coherent. He was not there. He wasn't present. You know what I'm saying? Mentally. Physically, he was there. But everything, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, he was gone. It's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Whatever issues I got with my family, whatever issues I have with my mother, I obviously there's going to be a time where that may happen unless I go before them. You know what I'm saying? But that's not something that life doesn't prepare you for it. There's not really a way to prepare for it outside of stoicism. You know what I'm saying? And even that can be difficult. But Guy comes out. I mean, after Tank leaves, you know what I'm saying? He's an opener, so they give him about 30 minutes. Show starts about 8 o'clock, right? And Guy is there. Guy is so like I said, Teddy Riley, Aaron Hall, Damian Hall, they come out, right? And Aaron is like introducing everybody. He's like, yeah, it's my little brother Teddy Riley. He's 55 years old or 56 years old or something. And this is my brother Damian, he's 54 years old. And then Aaron Hall says he's like 57, 58. And I'm like, these niggas are almost 60. And they're out there with the fucking shirts open, showing smaller pudge, you know what I'm saying? Damian didn't have it though. I gotta give you, Damian stays in shape. But a almost 60-year-old man gyrating on fucking stage doing that slow grind that we used to do in the 90s, like H-Town and shit. I really felt it. I was like, damn, they're old. They're old. And like the acceptance of it all. It's like, damn, man. My favorite artists, right? I'm getting so old that my favorite artists, they're still doing it, but they're old though. Like, like if you look at Ralph Tresvant, he's a fucking vampire. But even he's starting to show age in the face too, you know what I'm saying? This is not dissing anything. This is observance, and it's just accepting the fact that we're getting older. Us kids born in 85. Shout out to everybody born in 85 or before, you know what I'm saying? We're old. We are. And it's okay. It's really okay. But the beauty of it is just not worrying about what people think of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to that age, I got a lot of friends that got families, married, some divorced. You know what I'm saying? And that's what life is about. Life is really about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a family and it's a healthy situation and you have that, man, like, that's a great feeling to see your offspring. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to engage in I would say in some form of communication with the mother of your kid, of your kids, you know what I'm saying? Or just being cordial, you know what I mean? It's something that a lot of people take for granted. I know situations. I was dating a girl that she had a great, co-parenting relationship, and it's much respected to see that shit. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of us out there that aren't mature enough to have a healthy co-parenting relationship. So I definitely applaud anyone that's able to have such. But yeah, the concert, New Edition, seeing Bobby Brown, and for those of us who grew up watching Ghostbusters 2 and My Prerogative and like all this, the music video, like how small Bobby used to be. Bobby is thick now, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like the energy that he used to have, it ain't there. He just be, all right, cool, I'm here, fellas. Well, watch me. 1 step, 2 step, And it's like, for him, that's great. He showed up, it's all 6 of them. For us, as the consumer, as the customer, got paid a lot of money for you to perform. I need you to perform. All right, I need you to be up there to perform these moves that we know you're able to do. Be in shape. You know what I'm saying? Michael Bivins, same thing, you know, not really hitting it. But like Ronnie, Ralph, Ricky, listen, man. Johnny get a pass, his mom passed, you know what I'm saying? If Johnny was fine, he'd be on it, man. I seen him last year, he was getting it, even with more weight. He lost a lot of weight, you know, in the course of a year. But Ronnie and Ralph and Ricky, like they hold it down, yo. Ronnie, ain't nobody fucking with Ronnie. I'll tell you right now. No one is fucking with Ronnie DeVoe when it comes to choreography, and it's been like that from the start. You know what I'm saying? Ralph just does his shit. Consummate professionals. I'll say all 6 of them consummate professionals. The way they, you know what I'm saying, hold it down when all 6 show up, that is. But Keith Sweat to me had the best set because of his stage presence. The way he commands the stage, he commands the audience. He's been doing it since time began. Since the 80s, you know what I'm saying? When Make It Last Forever came out in 88. It's fucking 3. You know what I'm saying? But like to see this shit and in person, to see your heroes, the people that you know, every black cookout growing up, every family barbecue, listening to Make It Last Forever, I Wanna, you know, like all these New Jack Swing records, Can You Stand the Rain, If It Isn't Love, you know what I'm saying, Cool It Now, Mr. Telephone Man, Mary Ann, Kind of Girls We Like, Hide and Seek, that entire album of New Edition, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much music history here on this stage, and they're old. And accepting the fact that they're old. And you know, again, it may sound judgmental, it's just like more about reflecting on yourself, like, damn, if they're old, so am I. And like I said, that's all right. You know, it's just the acceptance of it and realizing that time has just been passing by, and you know, you've been stuck in a time frame where you thought you were younger than you actually are. And to accept it is it's a relief, you know? It's like a real relief, like worrying about shit you ain't had nothing, you know, shouldn't have been worrying about. The shit didn't matter. But now, you know what I'm saying, to move forward, going forward and just being like, okay, I have my time. This is my daughter's time, it's my brother's time, you know what I'm saying? Like all of them, you know, closer in age, it's for them to shine, you know what I'm saying? For them to figure out who they are, who they're gonna be, you know. It's up for me to work on goals, build, you know what I'm saying, multi-million dollar businesses and stuff. That's the plan, you know what I mean? But also spend time with those that value you. You know what I'm saying? Value those that value you. And yeah, just continue to, you know what I'm saying, like to work on bettering yourself. But like I said, knowing that when you know that you're too old for this shit when you stop giving a fuck about what people think of you. Who do you think should get paid big money based off of what they do for a living versus those that actually do in our society? I just hit my head and I'm still gonna answer this question. For me, to answer this question, I believe that the way that they have you know, NFL contracts, NBA contracts, sports contracts or whatever, right? And of course they get paid based off of, you know, what they provide for excitement and shit, you know, the work that they put in, and much respect to all the athletes. However, I want to talk about teachers across the nation and how little they get paid. and what they have to endure. They have to deal, like if we don't take care, we don't pay attention to our kids, and they go to school and then they project their insecurities onto that teacher who has nothing to do with it. They're just there to do a job and try to teach them. And some kids project their insecurities in violent ways. School shootings, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing shit like that. And these teachers are there to protect our kids. And they get paid shit. They literally get paid shit for what they actually endure. Like a cop, like the fire department, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that NBA players, like how NBA players' contracts are, where it's like 5 years for $200 million or something like that. I believe there should be something where the teachers of the world, the firefighters, the first responders, they should be getting paid like signing 3-year contracts for like $5 million or whatever, whatever lump sum. You know what I'm saying? That would be gracious, because they do so much for us. I think about a lot of the teachers that help shape my mind on the world. You know what I'm saying? I had, obviously going through school in Suffolk and even in Pax River, Green Holly Elementary, and other places. You know what I'm saying? Chipman Elementary in Salisbury. Shout out to where my grandma and them stay. But so like Miss Langer, we had Miss Langer for U.S. history for like the first part of 11th grade, first half. And then her husband got orders and then she had to leave. But she told us straight up, like, had us shut the fuck up because we was being unruly. And she told us that by the time you become 60, there's not gonna be any Social Security for you. And of course you're young, you don't really understand it, but as you get older, you start to see more and more of how it's diminishing. It's like, wow, Miss Langer was trying to look out for us, in a way. Who else, man? Miss Byram, I had her 12th grade, right? And Miss Byram was the first class that I actually enjoyed going to outside of gym. You know what I'm saying, in school. And though her teaching method, it was well received, like as far as how government goes and how fucked up the government is. You know what I mean? With the way they do shit. And I don't know, those things just always stuck with me. And I just feel that, I believe that teachers definitely earn a bigger salary than what they receive, and it should have better. I believe they should have better protection when it comes to being assaulted at school. There's that video in Atlanta where that kid was like popping off at that teacher, and then she's just taking it, and then that teacher ends up, fighting a fucking child. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I don't want to promote your kid getting his ass beat, but if they're asking for it, somebody got to beat that ass. You know what I'm saying? Since you didn't want to do it to keep them out of trouble. But the teachers have definitely been unsung heroes in today's society, yesterday's society, and more than likely in the future, to raise children whose attention spans are like this, you know what I mean? And to like a teacher today versus teaching back when we was coming up, without the internet, we had internet, but without the social media, you know what I'm saying? Trying to convey and command your class while also hoping that this damn kid in the back that ain't talking to nobody isn't getting fucked with, so you don't come to school and try to end everybody's shit, man. Like, imagine the anxiety for a child, or the anxiety for a teacher that has to teach and wondering if it's gonna be my school, and to get paid. I don't know what do they get. They don't get paid a lot. They don't get paid They don't get paid by what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just believe that teachers, first responders, me, I want to get paid too, nigga. Shit. As an airfield manager, I believe that there are jobs that definitely have earned that type of contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, to put your life on the line, the way that first responders do, the firefighters, the cops that actually do their fucking job, not the ones that, target certain black folk, Latins, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I want to applaud them. I want to commend them. I want to give them their flowers while they're still here. For every teacher who ever said we got on y'all damn nerves, but you still loved us anyway and taught us, because you saw what the future has before us and you wanted us to be safe. You wanted us to learn as much as we could so that we can apply it to our life and defend ourselves out here. For every firefighter who has gone into a burning fire and took their own, and that's taken their life. And the families, it's great. You saved a lot of people, but your family is without a father now, or a mother, whichever way it goes. But I just believe that these people have done so much and received financially so little. So you're doing it truly for the love of it, which is, that's commendable. It's really commendable. But if you're great at something, you shouldn't do it for free or, low, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure that teachers can tell you why better than I could, as far as like why they, why they get paid so little. You know what I'm saying? As being just a normal teacher. I'm not talking about an assistant principal or whatever it is, from a higher standard, but actual being in the classroom with kids from ages ranging from like 4 to 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've done so much for us. I can name, Miss McLemore, like I said, Miss McLemore, Miss Langer, Miss Handy, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Parker, Mr. Shoemake, Miss Phelps, Mr. Lynn, Miss Copeland, Miss Powers, Miss Carey, Miss Leonard. These are all the teachers that I knew coming up that risked their lives every day, their sanity every day. Miss Smithers. Yeah, we used to do that shit in the class. Like, these teachers, some of them really wanted to show us like a different way of living our life so that we can better our lives, you know what I'm saying? Like, Miss Williams, Miss Payton, you know what I'm saying? Like, there were people that looked out for us, and wasn't able to really show that appreciation properly with a child's mind, but now to be grown and look back and be like, damn, man, they really held us down. Shout out to Miss Owens, you know what I'm saying, from school. I can't think of, there's so many, you know what I'm saying, that we had that, and I apologize if any teacher is watching this, seeing your old student name all these teachers and not run off my name. Well, damn it, I appreciate you too, okay? But I just believe that there should be some, if not like paid while you're working, there should be some kind of 401k set up. Maybe there is. I'm sure teachers could tell you better than I could, but if anyone, I believe, should have a high-paying salary, it's teachers, first responders, and me.